Dude, check this thing out. This thing turned out absolutely amazing, and I'm not just talking about the paint job, the model itself. This is now version 2 of my 3D printed F-22 mid-mounted pusher. I do have version 1 with me right here on my right. So this thing is 100% 3D printed, and it can be built between 2 and 5 channels. I do have an optional fin and rudder that screws into the stab there, and the servo screws into the fin itself. Now on version 1, I just had elevons with the optional rudder that sits right behind the prop-blast, so it's like thrust vectored. So what I changed on version 2, one of the things that I changed is I added flaperons to it. So on this specific model, what I have set up is I've got ailerons and I've got flaperons with the rudder. Version 1 was not capable of doing that. So when I do release these model files, which will be available very soon, it will come with the G codes and the 3MFs, all the STLs. The wing, you can print several different ways. You can print the wing whole, which I actually did on this model. On the right side, that's a whole wing, and the left side, it's in pieces. So if you got a large bed size, you can print the wing whole, which is extremely convenient. It prints very nice and clean. There's almost no cleanup in the entire thing. So another thing I changed on version 2 is I did add cooling to the front of the intakes there. As you can see, I opened up the bottom of them. That's one of the places that there's a little bit of stringing or cleanup, and you can just get it with your spatula. But the print quality is 100% better than the last model that I had, version 1. That thing was just a prototype. It didn't turn out that great. However, it flies amazing still. So the hatch on this thing, it's spring loaded with a latch using a rubber band. That's how I do all my models. And then another thing I'd like to point out is all the control surfaces are hinged simply by inserting filament. So you don't have to cut anything, you don't have to do anything. You just put it on, insert the filament, and it's done. So you will need 5 servos. I'm using all 9-gram servos, so it doesn't cost $50, you know, to put 5 servos in it that are 5 grams. They're all 9 grams. In this one, I did put a little bit smaller of a motor. I've got a 2830 4S motor in there. I'm still running a 7-inch prop, just like I did it on version 1. So I got a 2830 in this one. That had a 2836, so it had a little bit bigger motor. I suspect I'm not going to be able to go vertical unlimited like I was on version 1, but I wanted to print this one a little bit heavier using a smaller motor and see how it flies like that. So it did turn out a little bit heavier. The paint was 52 grams. Without the battery, it's now at 797 grams. It's about a 31.5-inch wingspan, and I forget how long it is. I want to say 40 or 42. I'll leave the specs on Colts 3D. I also have a chart of all the print settings, so if you want to be able to see that, just check it out on Colts 3D. I'll have a bunch of pictures and everything. So I'm extremely excited to get this up in the air. I really want to give it a go. So stay tuned to see what happens. I'm going to get ready to fly this thing. So thanks for watching, guys. Alright, so this is the maiden flight of my F-22 mid-mounted pusher. I'm not going to do anything crazy with it. I just want to basically get it trimmed, and then I want to test out my settings for my flaperons. So it's way out of trim here. Look down at my transmitter. You know, and I purposely put up into it. I just put a little bit too much up into it. I got it relatively trimmed now. And check the roll rate when I come back around. Oh, it's much better than the other one. The other one would barely roll with just the elevons set up. Let me play with the flaps a little bit. So got a little bit too much up elevator with the flaps. I do have a mix in there, so I'll have to adjust it because it's way too much up elevator. That's okay, not a big deal. I really like the orange, the tiger stripes. You can fly this airplane or that paint scheme like when it's really dark outside. The rudder is a bit more responsive also. In version 1, the rudder was a little bit, or the fin was bigger than the rudder. In this one, version 2, I made the fin a little bit smaller than the rudder, so you get a little bit more throw from it. And I do have my aileron rates turned down. I want to say they're on like 65 maybe. So you can get more roll out of it. Also, you could change the settings on the control arm on the servo too. So she's telling me I got 30 seconds, but that's at 4 minutes for the other motor. And I know I've got more time than that, so I'll fly for another 2 minutes or so and then bring it down. And I suspect it's not going to be able to go vertical unlimited like the other one. Yeah, and it doesn't. The motor's just not as strong, not as powerful as the other one. And I knew that going in when I was building it with this motor, with this setup. But I wanted to try a smaller motor, so if you guys build this thing and that's all you got, or that's what you want to use, or you want a longer flight time, you know, you can do that. I want to make sure it was going to work. I also have it right now, it's a little bit tail heavy. I didn't realize how different of a weight all my batteries are. I think it does fly a little better if you balance it right on that CG mark that I put though. I should probably get ready to bring this thing in. I've been kind of burning it up pretty fast the whole time. When you guys, if you guys download this and you decide to put it together, I only recommend using ASA for the motor mount. These motors get super hot. That's why nobody's making mid-mounted pushers. They're 3D printed. And I've got about 40, maybe a little bit more flights on version 1, and I have not had a problem with the motor mount at all. So I know that motor's probably cooking. Oh yeah, it's really hot. As I didn't think it was going to matter whether or not I had cooling air going through it. They just get so hot, there's just nothing you can do. So it's a new day. I've got my 3D printed F-22 mid-mounted pusher. I adjusted the flaperons a little bit so they didn't have as much elevator when I turned the flaps on. Now it just has a little bit of elevator. So I'm going to go ahead and try this out and see if these settings are a little bit better. I do like how it flies the other one, my V1. The V1's a little lighter. Like I said, V2, I printed V2 with 4% infill, and it did turn out heavier. I like how it flies lighter though. So I'm gonna go ahead and try my flaps. That's much better. Much better than where it was yesterday. That's half rate. I think I'm going to bring it down and check the motor. The prop doesn't sound right. I think it might be unbalanced.
Throttle cut off.
prop's not seated right, so I'm gonna go mess with that. It's funny how you can hear that while you're flying. And that's because at home, when I took it home last night, I was trying to see if I had a 2-bladed prop to put on it. And I don't, so I ordered a couple instead of the 3-bladed prop. And when I took the prop on and off, these props were meant for drones. It's not really supposed to be on this motor, so I'm just gonna have to take it off and put it back on so that it is seated correctly in the center. Alright, so that's the best I can get it for right now. What's happening is, well, the prop's unbalanced obviously, but I usually use a bigger motor which has a bigger shaft size, and these props, they're all pre-drilled. They don't come with the little circles that you put on them to center the prop. So the prop is not, it's got a big hole and it's sitting on that shaft, and I just got it real tight. So I do got more props coming tomorrow, but for now this is gonna have to do. This is the best I could get it after messing with this for probably about 40 minutes. It's not perfect, but it's close to it. It's good enough that I feel comfortable flying it. However, my new props will be here tomorrow, so I'll try it again tomorrow with the correct prop on there. Alright, so flight number 3, my 3D printed F-22 mid-mounted pusher. What I'm worried about with the props is it's going to make the motor overheat if it's too far out of balance. You know, and these motors, they already run hot. This one not so much as the other one, but they both run hot. Now at least this F-22, I do have the cooling in it. I did put the cooling in the intakes. Like I said, don't think it's really going to matter that much. I have foam board airplanes where the motor is completely exposed, and I'm very familiar with these motors. I have a bunch of them, and they get hot. It doesn't matter. The whole motor can be exposed. It's going to get hot. Alright, so it seems like it's flying pretty good, like trim-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and try my flaps again. So it's still climbing a pretty good amount with the flaps. That's full flaps right there. I'm kind of feeding down into it, which is pretty good, I guess, because then you don't really, what that's telling me is I don't need a lot of elevator to compensate for the flaps. That's half flaps. Let me go ahead and turn my flaps off. I'm gonna have to adjust that setting, and once I get these settings down, I will post them with the model files, either on Colts itself or a text document inside the files when you download it. I do like how it flies with the bigger motor though, for sure. Definitely. So the next one I do, the next one of this exact model, I'm going to print with the yellow color fab, and I'm going to do the tiger stripe scheme. The next one is going to be 1.5 infill across the board, and fused one is going to be 2 perimeters, and the rest of it's all just going to be 1. And that should make the model light to where I want it, and still strong enough. I'll probably put carbon fiber in that one, probably 3 steel wires and the rest carbon fiber. I don't know, I'll make my mind up on that when I'm building it. But it's super easy paint job. You know, if I print it with the yellow, put the tiger stripes on it, I won't have 50 grams of paint like this one. This model, I did spray bomb the top and the bottom. The top's a fluorescent orange, the bottom is gray. And then I got 2 coats of that gold on the canopy. So she's telling me my time's up, but that's for the bigger motor, like I said before. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I changed my timer yet. I'm not going to chance it. I'm just going to bring it in. Get another flight or two before the sun goes down. Let's see how hot the motor is. It's pretty hot, but it's not as hot as the bigger motors. It's still real hot though. The big motors, I can't ever touch them. But hopefully that other size prop will help with that. Here's flight number 4 of my 3D printed F-22 pusher. I'll probably start printing another one of these hopefully tonight. I'm going to change fuse 1 so the battery fits a little bit better. What else do I got to do? And then I just have to fix the offset on the wing. On wing 1 and 2 and 4, or where they all go together, to make sure that they fit correctly. So I don't have a lot left to do, and then fix all the G codes from 4% infill, and change my chart that I got from 4% back to 1.5, back to where I want it, where this thing flies best at. If you guys want to change the infill or do whatever you want to it, go for it. If you got a certain setup that you like using for pushers that you know works well, you're more than welcome. I know how I like to fly it, which is not this motor. I like to have a lot of power, and definitely it to be a little bit lighter. But it does fly like this. If you want to print it with 4% infill and put a smaller motor on it, like I got a 2830 1300 kV 4S, it definitely flies. You know, but I like to keep it super close to me and really take high G turns. And to be able to do that, you know, you stall it out a lot in those high G turns. So you really need that extra power to be able to get out of it. You know, and the way I printed it, I mean, the power's just not there. But it was done intentionally. So, definitely looking forward to reprinting it. I really like park flying mid-mounted pushers. So, as a matter of fact, I like this airframe so much. This airplane turned out so good that I've already started working on an Su-57 Felon. So, and it'll be made very similar to the way this one is. It might even turn out better because it's the second one that I'm doing, so I know what to do, where to do it. So that was 100% throttle for a while, and I've learned my lesson with it. You know, I know better than that, but I do that with my foamies all the time that are built like this. Just 100%. Usually I'll have like a 1400 battery in there, 4S, and it's just running at 100% for 2.5, 3 minutes the entire time I'm flying, basically. But, you know, we're dealing with plastic, so you got to give that motor mount a little bit of time to cool down. Yeah, I can't wait to get the next one printed because I really want to see the capability of it when it's going to be a lot lighter. Actually, with it printed a lot later, I bet you I could probably get like an 1800 battery in there, or even smaller, maybe a 15 or 14, and have it balanced real nice, so then the flight weight will be much lower. So my time's up. I'm gonna bring it in. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'll have this done in the next week for sure. Hopefully sooner than that. I'm saying week conservatively. So this airplane's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bill from HoloModels RC. Please take time to hit the like button or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for future projects of mine. This is my F-22 100% 3D printed mid-mounted pusher. Look for it on colts3d.com. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will talk to you next time. So now if you look down there, the battery actually does have more space to go forward. If I pull this battery up, hopefully you can see that with my camera, I can slide the battery all the way down in there like that. So what I was thinking of making was like 2 prongs that stick up that you put a rubber band on there, and it'll hold the battery all the way far forward if you need it to be. But then the other thing I'm going to do is, it's at a different angle, as you see. The battery sits flat right there, or if I turn it at an angle, it's the only way I could get it to go up into the nose section there. So I'm just going to cut it out a little bit more so the battery can go forward about 1 more inch from what it does now, about right there. So I did force it in. I broke the PLA to get it to force it in right there. So what's going on is, if you print it how I'm recommending to print it, it's fine. But if you print it like this, like I did, with 4% infill, and it turns out heavier, then the problem is you need to put the battery farther forward because you got more PLA in the back end of it. So that's where the issue's coming in. But if you print it lighter with 1.5% infill, like I'm recommending, you don't have this issue. Although it does balance with the battery right now, it's just, I know everybody's are going to be a little bit different. So I would just want to make sure that there's a little bit extra room to put the battery farther forward. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you later.